It says, therefore, brothers, by the mercies of God, I urge you to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, wholly pleasing to God. This is your spiritual worship. Why are we presenting? So always ask what's the therefore. And if you look at the hymn of praise from 1133, it is a reminder of who God is and what he's done. Who has known the mind of the Lord? Who has ever been first given and he's never repaid for from him and through him and to him are all things. To him be glory forever and ever. Amen. Everything that God has done, the one thing that we can do is, as he says, I urge you to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, not as a dead sacrifice. What does that mean? Willingly, that I willingly give myself to the Lord, that I say, you know what, Lord, I yield myself to the plan, will, and purpose that you have for my life, that you sacrificed yourself to die for my sins so that I could be joined with you, one, raised with you, two, then my reasonable act of worship is to say thank you. And by doing that, I say, I willingly also give myself to you as a living sacrifice to do what it is that you have me to do for your will and your good pleasure. Verse 2. So that's what it is. That's your spiritual worship. It's just the recognition of what God has done, but that you physically give God yourself willingly. Then he says in verse 2, do not be conformed to this age, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind so that you can discern what is the good, pleasing, and perfect will of God. Why is that important? Romans tells us because there are two natures that we struggle with. One is the flesh, which Paul talks about in Romans 7, and the spirit, which he also describes in chapters 6, 7, and 8, that we struggle. And we have to discern what is the true, what is true, because we have this body of flesh, right? This inescapable body of flesh, and yet inside is our enjoined spirit with God, and we wrestle each time. And as I've said many times, that the only way that you can sin and have a mindset of sin is when the devil lies to you and tricks you, like he did Eve in the garden. So that's the deception. You have to believe a lie that is untrue of God and therefore untrue of you, because a dead person, Romans 6, cannot commit acts of sin because that person, that mindset is gone. So we have to discern what is the good, pleasing, and perfect will of God. And as a living sacrifice, that's our surrender to that